Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to get started. It's wonderful to have all of you here this evening. Shabbat Shalom. Heather and Jeremy are going to come forward and help lead us in Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together. So please come on over. We had a wonderful dinner. We need to come over here and help share the love of the joy of Shabbat. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Hine Matov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine Matov, Hine Matov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So we are now going to begin Shabbat, and we're going to kindle the lights. Sandra Reichert is going to come forward, and she's going to come around this way, Sandra, this way. And we have two candlesticks representing the love between two partners, Am Yisrael and Adonai, and two loving partners in life. And as we look at the two candles and we look at the light, we want to connect to the divine light that's inside each and every one of us, and connect to the light of God that is always dwelling within us and surrounding us. We make 3 circles, creating what? Order out of the chaos, and bringing the light towards our soul. Page 120. And we're going to call God with our souls and our singing and not our cell phones. Are we ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Turn to your neighbor and say Shabbat Shalom. And now we're going to sing L'cha Dodi on page 138. All right, you guys, the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. You too, at home. L'cha Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat V'Kabbalah. L'cha Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat V'Kabbalah. La 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 L'cha Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat V'Kabbalah. L'cha Dodi, Likrat Kala, P'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el echad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, L'Shem l'Tiferet v'Lidihi la 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 Hadel di Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, L'Chala Hadel di Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Verse 5. Hitoreri, Kiva Orekri, Ori, Shidaberi, Kevod Adonai, like la 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 la, Hadel, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, L'Chala Hadel, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Verse 9. B'Oiv Shalom Peret Bala, Gam Besimcha V'Tohala, Tochem B'nei Am Segula, V'Hala V'Ichala, L'Chala Hadel, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, L'Chala Hadel, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah, B'nei Shabbat Kabbalah. Please be seated. All right, and now we're going to move into our service, and we're going to do our Hatzi Kaddish, our dividing prayer on page 144, from our Kabbalah Shabbat portion, and our official call to worship. Yikdal, Yikdash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'almad Yivrach Erutei Ve'amlif Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Bagala, V'vizmahan Karerim Arel, Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'alam Lo Me'amaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitfa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithalev, V'yithalal, Shemei D'Kudashah, Re'echu, Le'elah Min Kol Verchata, V'shirata, Tishvechata, V'nechemata, Dan Mihiran, Ve'alma, V'yimaru. Amen. And the Baruch can be found on page 146. Please be seated. And now, as we move forward into our evening service, we have our evening prayer on page 148. But first, on the bottom of 149, this is an hour of change together, and within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, ובגבונה משתיתים וכמליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים ומשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו ביום ולילה ולאור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. And now we're going to go to the Shema, which you can find on page 152 and 153. We take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And if you'd like to stand or be seated, however you make your connection to the divine, deep breath in and out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Please be seated. And our Ve'ahavta prayer on page 154. Pay attention to the Torah this Shabbat because you will find this in it. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol yadecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shofecha u'v'kamecha u'kashartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'vitem kedoshim le'lohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiod lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Amen. And together on the top of page 157, right before our Micha Mocha, and we think about how we don't really go anywhere in life by ourselves. We always have God walking beside us, but it's always best to do things in partnership. And this is why we were so lucky to have the candles, the two sticks representing our relationship with each other and with God. and also at the time of the Exodus to be able to go forward to an uncertain future with our tribes. So together on the top of 157, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha, Mocha, and Heather and Jeremy, are you up to it? We'll help everybody. Okay, so everybody that wants to dance, just do so, please, because we need you to move around, because I know Robin likes to dance. Robin, are you going to dance today? Mira will want to dance. Mark and Sandra will want to dance. And who else? We have Dorothy's granddaughter here. She might want to dance. She's probably the youngest one in the room with a little bit. I don't know, Mark Reichard will rival you. Oh, and here comes somebody coming in. You want to dance? Dance your way right into the sea. Okay, Micha Mocha. Yeah, bye bye, bim 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 bam, yeah da 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 bim bam, yeah da da bim bim bam, yeah da 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 bim bam, yeah da 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 da, yeah da 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 bim bam, yeah da 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 da, yeah da 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 bim bam. Micha Mocha v'ali Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar b'kodesh, Norati lo osef. There is some spirit in this room. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, ולא יחזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. And now we have Vishamru on page 162. Vishamru, whichever one you want, surprise me. Woo! Okay, get ready! Vishamru, b'nei Yisrael, and Hashavat, la'asot et Hashavat, le'dodotam beritolam. One more time. Vishamru, b'nei Yisrael, and Hashavat, la'asot et Hashavat, le'dodotam beritolam. B'nei Ruven, b'nei Yisrael, b'nei Ruven, b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, v'shameru b'nei Yisrael, et Hashavat, la'asot et Hashavat, le'dodotam beritolam. Ki sheishem yamim, ki sheishem yamim, asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'haaretz, v'shameru b'nei Yisrael, et Hashavat, la'asot et Hashavat, le'dodotam beritolam. V'bayom hashvi et Hashabbat, asod et Hashabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. Yasher Koach to everyone. If you're able, please rise. 164 for the Amidah. Do the insert for summer. I don't know if our air conditioning is working up here. It's quite warm. It is just the heat of the Lord. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevid Gila Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei Hakol atah, Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatam, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Richamocha Ba'al Umidom Melach, Melech Memid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neheman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, V'chayei hametim, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, V'kadoshim b'chol yom, V'halalucha sela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Thank you, Mark Reichard. I was in the desert up here, waiting for the commandments to happen amidst fire and thunder. There's already a fire in the soul up here because it was 180 degrees. But it was a good number, so that's okay. So, we have some exciting things going to happen. Some of you, I've already given you an opportunity to know what the Parsha is. What is it? What are we going to get today, this Shabbat? The commandments, that's right. So if you happen to come to some Saturday morning services, we have a wonderful treat. Sometimes people get to point to the Torah when we take the Torah out, and other times and I chant it, but other times we get the wonderful gift of Dan Spector coming forward, and he will, not quite yet after the sermon we'll do it, but we are going to have Jeremy pass these out so you can have it. Please do not drop them on the floor. Do not leave them. We will collect them after. Because they do have a portion of the commandments in there. So Jeremy, I'm going to give these to you, and then you can pass them out when I call Dan up to come. But right now you can sit down and focus on the words of the drasha. Okay. Are you feeling warm or is it just me? Ooh, okay. We are feeling the light of the Lord. We are manifesting energy. There's a slight breeze happening up here. Just let's all envision ourselves out in the plains of the desert, but there is a breeze coming through the palm trees. But we are at the base of the mountain, and there's all kinds of crazy going to happen. We are going to be so terrified by what we see that we're going to ask Moses to intercede for us. However, great things are ahead. So, Shabbat Shalom. We are going to manifest destiny by following the commands of Adonai and surrendering control. Everyone, let's do that together. Surrendering control. Remember one High Holy Days? I had you all do, let it go. Everyone, Let it go. Feel yourselves letting it go. Now we're going to do surrendering control again. Surrendering control. How many of you have a problem with that? Yeah, let's do it again. Surrendering control. Everyone at home, let's do it one more time. Surrendering control. Shabbat Shalom. We have actually just come out of the most negative 3 weeks in our Judaic calendar. So, in the last 3 weeks, has anyone felt totally overwhelmed with doom and gloom and all kinds of crazy? Okay, we also have Mercury retrograde. It always happens around the same time, coming into play. But it always prepares us for our High Holy Day work. So they do happen around the same time, and they lead us right into High Holy Days. But what's exciting about this week is we just had the culmination of the 3 weeks leading to Tisha B'Av, and that is the worst day in our calendar when all the terrible things happen to the Jews, a lot of them. But then, as we do in Judaism, we move in the cycle of darkness and light, of birth and death and love and all that. And we have Tu B'Av. So Tu B'Av, our Jewish Valentine's Day, is coming this weekend, and we are going to be having an exciting trip to the museum to see Ketubot at the Skirball Museum. So if you haven't told us, please let us know if you want to join us. And then we're going Sunday, right? And then we're going to try a New Delhi in the Valley. So all of you at home, even if you're across the country or around the world, because I don't know the 100+ people of you that are watching, we would love to have you join us for our social events and the things that we do to celebrate God and being Jewish together. So, in between, what did I tell you? Tisha B'Av, Tu B'Av, we have this Parsha. And this is what we have. We have the commandments being given for the second time, okay? First time was in Parsha Yitro, second time is now, and Vaetchanan. So everyone say it, Vaetchanan. So the commandments are repeated, as I had said, for the sake, actually, the first generation had their issues, right? Of the second generation after the Exodus. The first all but died out in the wilderness, in the wandering, unable to grasp their inherent potential and to manifest their destiny. So let us all, we did this one High Holy Days as well, open up our fists, close them. So when we go out into the world and we have our fists closed, feel it. What does that feel like? And then if we release, we surrender and we let go and we open up, do you feel like you are more able to receive? We are wanting to receive. Look, we can receive the air conditioning, the light of the Shekhinah and the divine surrounding us. So that's what we want to do. So the ancestors that we had were not able to let go. They were holding so tightly to their slave mentality as they wandered. So it's up to the next generation to lead everyone forward, to manifest destiny. Their children would be the ones to carry the torch forward and the mantle of Torah. The fifth commandment, honor your father and your mother, takes on a whole new meaning when you think about the burden and the blessing placed upon the next generation to conquer and settle a new land, one that their parents could only dream of, only try to imagine. God is seen as our ultimate parent, Avinu Malkeinu, our Father and King, Shekhinah, also with the divine feminine aspect of God. But so too was Moses considered a parent of ours. He led B'nai Yisrael, the children of Yisrael, of Israel, forward. And yet we have to remember, he too was a child of God. He pleads at the beginning of this Parsha. He had a lot of aggravation with us. We were not easy. Are we an easy people? We are a smart people, but sometimes we are not that easy, especially when we go together in a group of 30 to a restaurant. But we were stiff-necked and we did things that we weren't supposed to do. Why? Because we were children. We had to learn our lessons. We were trying to grow. So Moses pled with God, saying, O Lord God, this is at the beginning of our Parsha, you who let your servant see the first works of your greatness and your mighty hand, you whose powerful deeds no God in heaven or on earth can equal, let me, I pray, cross over. Think of what we read in our Siddur. Let me, I pray, cross over and see the good land on the other side of the Jordan, that good hill country and Lebanon. He didn't get to do it, did he? Well, it's an example. We don't always get what we want. Have any of you ever experienced that? We can wish, we can dream, we can strive, and we can sometimes feel like we are doing everything we can to manifest the future that we feel befits us. But sometimes we are just not in charge. You know the saying, God laughs while we are busy making plans? Well, sometimes we cannot understand why our will does not prevail. But there is a plan, and there is a purpose beyond what we can see or sometimes even reach. The journey, as we have said, is just as important as the destination and the lessons learned along the way. We talked about this last Shabbos. Someone recently asked me, how in the world did I make the transition to become a rabbi? And I said, every step I ever took prepared me for today. Actress, singer, adept at improv, growing up with a mother who was a preschool teacher, having to be there with her before and after school, all the way until I could drive, being there with the kids, and then one day later on doing the same finger plays and a lot of the same music with my children in the preschools at different synagogues. Every step led the way toward a destiny that I could never have dreamed of, totally unseen, and a journey planned by something much higher and much greater than little old me. When we are amidst the journey, it is very hard to know how things will go. And it's only until we get to the other side that sometimes we can look back and understand. That is the great thing about aging, because we get wisdom. I remember one of the greatest things my mother ever told me is when you turn 60, Dee Dee, you don't have to please anyone. You can just do whatever you want, as long as it's legal. So we get to go forth in our journey with some wisdom when we go through the knocks and the trials and the tribulations and the obstacles. And when we let go and we surrender control, because we don't know what we think we want, we might get later on down the line when God deems we are actually ready. Because if we got it too soon, what could happen? We could blow it, we might not appreciate it. Exactly. So there is a plan. Moses looks back in this parsha and he recounts the entire journey throughout the last, all of the other books, everything that's happened, and then now going into the current book of Devarim. This book contains a repeat, a rerun of everything. And on this Shabbat, as I said, we get a rerun of the commandments. And in the Torah, when you get something a second time, even in the same verse, that means you better pay attention. You got it twice. So we are a people of honor, and we are a people of memory. We can keep, but to remember adds a whole other dimension to the experience, to the very act of remembrance. Remembering is like an exclamation mark at the end of a very important sentence. To keep, and in this parsha there's a difference between keeping Shabbat and remembering this Shabbat. That's what we're told by God. To keep could happen once, but to remember redefines the experience in our consciousness, as well as redefining the experience in our physical and our emotional memory. To remember is to recreate. To keep then has many more layers of importance. When we remember, we connect to the past times that we shared, the moments, both the good ones and the bad ones. But the very act of remembering allows that experience to live on within us, around us. In the case of Shabbat, we were commanded in one parsha to keep Shabbat, and in the next one in the commandments, we are commanded to remember it. But in this parsha, when we think about remembering, we want to think about linking all Shabbatot before, all those thousands of years, to all of the Shabbatot yet to come, and us with them, What does that look like? How will that feel? What will the world be like? What are we manifesting by surrendering control? Let's do it one more time. Surrender control. Surrender control. I see some of you are like this. Let's do it. Surrender control. As we go forward, let us be grateful for our moment at the mountain that we remember at this time. As you know, it is said we all stood together before, and that we are all brought back together again now to be together, to recognize, to keep, and to remember that moment, as we will do in a little bit tonight when we chant some of the commandments. We stood there hearing the peals of thunder and the terrifying splendor. So let us think about what that might have been. And let us think about, really ponder this weekend and over Shabbat, what does it mean to keep and what does it mean to remember in our own lives? As well as times when we wanted something so desperately to happen that didn't. How many of you were ever in middle school or high school or college and you just wanted that one person to see you or recognize you and it didn't happen? And then went on to find someone much better later on. You never know what can happen, what's right around the corner. So what we think we want may surprise us. We may get something much better. Or we can make something happen that shouldn't. And then we have chaos for a very long time. Who's ever done that? Okay. So we want to let go, we want to surrender, and we want to think about what it means to relinquish control. What it means to think about when things turned out better than we ever could have imagined. So let us remember all our ancestors and those who came before us and the sacrifices that they made along the way for us to go forward, even the people in our own lives. Let us continue to carry the torch and the mantle of Torah into the future, and let us remember and honor our ancestors as well as our ultimate parent. May the commands lead us along our way, and may our journey be manifest in accordance with God's higher plan. May the wars and the strife and the confusion and the chaos that we endure now not only matter, but be for something higher, something greater that we just can't see right now, that we have to have faith about, so that we can then one day look back and remember the legacy and the truth and the justice that we fought so hard for. Why? In order to keep moving forward. Keeping the legacy and Torah relevant and alive for all time. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. So now Dan's going to come up, and you guys have your papers. No? Oh, Jeremy's now going to pass them out. That's right. I didn't want you to sneak a peek. I know how exciting it is to look at some of that Hebrew, which hopefully, how many of you are thinking about doing the Hebrew boot camp? Raise your hand. Raise your hand higher, higher. If there's only 4 people, I don't know that we're going to do it. Okay, all right. It is said that only one person can save the world. That might be you, Dan.
Yes.
You never know. He's done it already. You're right. You do it every time you come to the piano. And you will do it again at High Holy Days when it's time to create that beautiful music. Yes. Okay. We're going to say Kingdom Horror, maybe so. Okay, now, so you all have your papers. So the way we do this, those of you who should come on Saturday morning, who don't sometimes do it, right? They look at them. Were they there? Some of them were, some of them weren't. Okay, so now, I'm going to chant the Hebrew. If you want, you can just gaze at some of you that know some of the letters. Make that connection, the Aleph Bet. Those letters have different powers. So you want to connect them and breathe them into your soul. And we'll go slow, because I know some of you might want to try to sing along and chant. If you learn your letters, you can come up on a Shabbat morning and you can point to them in the Torah, even if you don't know how to read it all, and you don't have to spend days and weeks and months trying to learn it. I just have to make sure to do it great as I sight read. Are you ready, Dan?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And if you're able to, please stand. We stood together before and we stand together now as we receive some of these magnificent commandments, 613 total, not just 10. We are not going to do 613 right now. Bob Spencer's getting nervous. I could see it on his face. She's going to do 613? Okay. Deep breath in. You might recognize this one. Those of you who are Hebrew learners, take a look at your letters. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, V'chol levavecha, V'chol nafshecha, V'chol me'odecha. And read with Dan.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai alone. You shall love your God, Adonai, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might.
Excellent. So as you can see, we don't make this up. It is actually there, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 through 5, as you can see at the top. Now moving on, we're just sort of skipping around. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 3 to 4. Okay, good. Sandra, I heard you reading it. Lo et avotenu karat Adonai et habrit hazot ki itanu anachnu elefo hayom kulanu chayim panim befanim diber Adonai imachem v'har mitoch ha'esh. Now everyone with Dan?
It was not with our ancestors that Adonai made this covenant, but with us, the living, every one of us who is here today. Face to face, Adonai spoke to you on the mountain out of the fire.
Out of the fire. Please turn off that cell phone. We are out into the mountain of the wilderness, and we're hearing God speaking to us face to face out of the fire. Whew. Are we ready? Et Adonai Elohecha tira ve'oto tavod u'vishmo tishavea Lo telchun acharei Elohim acharim me Elohei ha'amim asher sevivotechem ki el kana Adonai Elohecha b'kirbecha ven Adonai Elohecha bach ve'ishmirecha me'al pnei ha'adama. Together with Dan.
Revere only your God, Adonai, and worship God alone, and swear only by God's name. Do not follow other gods, any gods of the peoples about you. For your God, Adonai, in your midst is an impassioned God. Lest the anger of your God, Adonai, blaze forth against you, wiping you off the face of the earth.
This was terrifying for them. They were like, Moses, you better take over because this is too much for us. Okay, everybody. Lo tenasu et Adonai Elohechem asher nisitem b'masa. Shamor tishmerun et mitzvot Adonai Elohechem ve'edotav ve'chukav asher tzivach.
Do not try your God, Adonai, as you did at Massah. Be sure to keep the commandments, decrees, and laws that your God, Adonai, has enjoined upon you.
And this is a very good one. We have commandment number 5. So many of you have done this and continue to do this. Ya'arichun yamecha u'ma'an itav la'al ha'adama asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach.
Honor your father and your mother, as your God Adonai has commanded you, that you may long endure, and that you may fare well in the land that your God Adonai is assigning to you. Lo
tirtzah velo tin'af ולא תגנוב, ולא תענה ברעך עד שווא.
You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor.
ולא תתאווה בית רעך, שדהו ועבדו ואמתו, שורו וחמורו וכל אשר רעך.
You, men, shall not covet your neighbor's wife. Likewise, none of you shall crave your neighbor's house, or field, or male or female slave, or ox, or ass, or anything that is your neighbor's.
את הדברים האלה דיבר אדוני אל כל קהלכם בהר מתוך האש הענן והערפל קול גדול ולא יסף ויכתה חרב על שני לוחות אבנים ויתנם אלי.
Adonai spoke those words, those and no more, to your whole congregation at the mountain, with a mighty voice out of the fire and the dense clouds. God inscribed them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me.
ויהי כשמעכם את הכל מתוך החושך וההר בוער באש ותקרבון אלי כל ראשי שבטיכם וזקניכם.
When you heard the voice out of the darkness, while the mountain was ablaze with fire, you came up to me, all your tribal heads and elders.
ותאמרו כן הראנו אדוני אלוהינו את כבודו ואת גדלו ואת קולו שמענו מתוך האש היום הזה ראינו כי ידבר אלוהים את האדם וחי.
And said, our God Adonai
Has just shown us a majestic presence, and we have heard God's voice out of the fire. We have seen this day that humankind may live
though addressed by God.
May we all, humankind, live, though addressed by God. May we keep, may we remember, and may we now listen to Dan play a beautiful piece and Heather come up and sing that is in relationship to this Torah portion. And please, if you would gather up your papers so that we don't leave them here on the floor and have respect for them.
I remember you. a moment of awe and surprise, and maybe even some compromise when we remember how we stood together at the foot of that mountain so long ago. I heard the sound, yes, and you heard it too. And though we may seem different now in all that we do, when we remember that place, when God spoke face to face, our steps we retrace to the foot of that mountain so long ago. I remember you, and I know it's not too late. We are bound not by hate but by our memory. I remember you, you remember me, through all the smoke and all the lies, as the fire testifies. I'm not the enemy. I remember you. It's been a while, we've gone our separate ways. You seem so foreign to me, and I know that you think me strange. But no matter how we live our lives, comes a moment of awe and surprise, yes, and maybe even some compromise when we look into each other's eyes and we recognize how we stood together at the foot of that mountain so long ago. I remember you.
Yasher Koach. That is a song by Rabbi Joe Black. Great guitarist. He has a great Hanukkah song. Hopefully it's in that book and we'll do it. If not, we're going to bring that song now. Thank you, Heather. That was wonderful. That's okay. We're not the other place. Do you want to clap? Go ahead and clap. We're so fortunate to have an opera singer in our midst. I know, some places we do it differently here. They'd have a fit if you started clapping. But you know what is a clap? It's bringing two hands together. Do it. It's energy, and we're sharing that energy. We're thankful for Heather sharing her energy with us and our beautiful gifts, and all of us being here together. So we're going to take all that energy, and we're going to help heal those that need it. Our beloved congregant Tilde, who is recovering from hip surgery, and our beloved congregant Tom, who is recovering from his fall and his surgery, and we have many people in this room that are recovering from a variety of ailments, and we have people out in the live stream as well, and around the world. And as I look out our window, I see our beautiful Magen David etched on the top, and the Tree of Life down below. But directly across is a house that is now flying an American flag. And if you look, the wind, the Ruach Elohim, we are manifesting energy is blowing that American flag. And we don't know which way the road will lead us, and we are not going to fight about politics, but we are going to pray for the health of our country, for the leaders that will guide it, that everyone will go out and vote, everybody, and that the justice that we pursue will not only be for our United States of America, but for the entire world as well. So for those who are needing a boost of energy of body, mind, and spirit, we sing them a Shabbat at this time. See them in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
And now, if you are able to, please rise and turn to page 586 in the next couple of pages as we do our Aleinu and open the ark. Bottom paragraph, Aleinu l'shaveach ladon hakol, latein gedula leyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kedei haratzon, velo samanu kemishrochot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu lechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim beyosed haaretz, umoshev yekaro b'shamayim mimahal, u'shechina uzo, begov hei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatu betorato, ve'yadata hayom, ve'yadata hayom, ve'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, ve'al haaretz, mitachat einod, ve'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shmo echad. Please be seated. And now our thoughts are going to go to those who have moved into the spiritual realm and also for those people who are fresh with grief at this time. If you have lost someone in the last, even if you're at home, say their names aloud, because we are people who remember. If you've lost someone in the last 7 days, please say your loved one's name, rise and say your loved one's name. If you've lost someone in the last 30 days, the Shloshim period. If you have lost someone in the last 11 months, please rise. Heather and Jeremy. And stay standing. Gail. And then anybody else has lost anyone in the last 11 months? And if you're observing the yard site, the anniversary of a loved one's death, raise your hand. Stand if you are as well. Bob? Okay, excellent. And Diana, did you have someone? Or a group of people? That's fine. Just kiss it. I remember her celebration of life. And now, Dan, do you have anybody? Anybody? No? Okay, so may they be blessed on high, everyone, as together we rise. And I know we had Harriet Tannen coming in around here. Okay, together as one community on 598, if you're home or you don't know it, I'll raise my hand and say V'yimaru, and everyone says Amen. As you can see, there's no mention of morning pitch 598. It's an exaltation of the divine. We put the praise out. It reflects on our loved ones and all of us as well, and God. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabah, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'adala v'zman kari v'miru. Yehei shemei rabah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei amaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitraman, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitala, shemei d'kudashah b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alama v'miru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'miru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'miru, amen. May God, who is the author of life and death, unseen, our ultimate parent, Avinu Malkeinu, be with those who have moved on into the heavenly realm, not only our loved ones, but around the world as well. Watch over those that are in need and help lift us all up as Adonai lifts our loved ones up higher and higher, closer to the eternal, wonderful chariots on high. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. So our wonderful president is finishing her violinist run. She has shows this weekend and then one concert, and then she said that she will be devoutly attuned to practicing, and she wanted you to know, Dan, she will be ready for the High Holy Days and all the preparation that goes with it. So we wish her well, and we'll be thrilled to have her come back. We have exciting things going on. What did I tell you? This Sunday, what holiday are we celebrating? Tu B'Av. And what are we going to do? Pet to boat. We're going to go to Skirball Center, we're going to see them, and then we're going to do what we do so well. Yes, I see, Mark, me too. We're going to eat at the deli. Yes, we are. We're going to find a new deli, because we exhaust every deli in the LA Orange County area. We'll have to move on to San Diego. Maybe we should go north to Ventura. So we do carpool, so if you need a ride, we do try to arrange those as best we can. And then we have our very, very exciting extravaganza, Saturday the 24th, Diana's birthday celebration, along with Ruslan and all of our loved ones that are going to be playing and sharing in the excitement. The cake is going to be quite tasty that Diana has ordered. What is it, a 7-layer cake? Yes, seven layers for the 7 days of creation and Tov goodness that Diane will have in this coming year as she sits with her beautiful daughter Mira, who's honoring commandment number 5 just in a beautiful, strong way. So, that being said, we are now honoring Abe Hefner. The Pizzelles asked for good stuff for lunch bunch, so now we're going to El Pollo Inca, and we're going to do that at 11:30. What day is that? Oh, I don't know. Check your calendars. It's a Wednesday, I think it's the 28th. Wednesday the 28th, yes. So we're so busy, the 18th, the 24th, the 28th, and then we have so many exciting things, so please take a look coming up. Stacy is going to do Havdalah, Stacy Morse, next month, not this month, because she got the COVID beast, and she wants to keep you all safe and well, so please take care of yourselves because it is rampant, and Bob has something to say. Enjoy, yes. She's not doing it in the month of August because she's still recovering and we don't want you to get sick. You two have already had COVID. We don't want you to get it again. Oh, okay, so if she's well, Labor Day weekend. So I said to her, not a lot of our people are going anywhere. So, but I want to make sure, because we all know you can get COVID and then you can rebound, right? Okay, and it is very rampant right now, so I don't want any of you exposed, so we're going to check in, and then we'll send out the notice. But what we are for sure of, Kinahora, is that she will be well in September, and we are not doing our Saturday service in September, so we're going to do 3 Friday night services. Those are potential new member open houses. What do you need to do? Get people! Go out on the street. We have 2 potential new members just walking by the street. And they know, when I see you walking down the street, I see Emet, I must go in. So anyway, yes, so bring your friends. So first Friday in September, our men will be doing their rousing barbecue. Don't look like we don't know, Mark Riker. Jeremy's going to bring it together, and they're going to do it, and it's going to be good. Yes, our manly men. And then on the 3rd Friday, we will be having our usual dinner, and I think we decided to go out, or we're eating here. I don't know, just it's in the ads. Who has a Peninsula magazine? It should be listed there. You might know better than us. So anyway, we wrote those ads. They're out there. And then the last Friday of the month, which will be our last Shabbat before Erev Rosh Hashanah on October 2nd, we will have a 6 o'clock mix and mingle with hors d'oeuvres and libations and things, and then we will have a 6:30 service, and then we will have an expanded dessert oneg because we know how much some of you want that so desperately. So please come to all those things. Most importantly, get in your membership packets, get your High Holy Day tickets, come to the sisterhood meeting, and when might that be, Sunny? Right. Okay, well, everyone, this is why it is so important for you not to let your emails go in the trash. Yes? Okay, why are our announcements longer than the sermon? I don't know, because we're so busy. Okay, check your email. If you're a woman, come to Sisterhood, and make sure you join, because they're going to have a very tasty luncheon on, did you decide on the 29th of September, or what's the date, Sunny? Okay. Yes, you're raising your hand. They're going to pack the food up. They're doing your mitzvah. Yes, so they're going to do that first Wednesday in September. So as you know, Monday will be Labor Day. Then you will have Wednesday, which is go save the homeless and give them food and be good and do your mitzvah, part of the commandments, and pack. And then Friday, you're going to come do barbecue and pray. Yes? Okay. Now, the other thing you can do, I am becoming an elkette. I am going to be an elk if they accept me. And part of that reason is some of you can't afford to go out when we go out, and happy hour drinks are $5 all day on Monday and Tuesday. And the meals are also much less expensive, so we will have an option for everyone. But a great mitzvah that I need you to do. Now, I might be sorry that I'm saying this. Online, too, you can mail them in. We need all of your can tops. Dan, you might get me a prop. Is there a soda can somewhere? Anyway, you know those little flip things that you flip on the soda can? The little thing, the little ring? I need you to take that off, and just like when you bring clothes and things for the homeless, I want you to bring those to me on Shabbat. okay? Because the Elks Club in San Pedro has delivered the largest amount of those tops in the country, and they use those tops because they're denser and easier to handle than the whole can, and they raise the money for the Ronald McDonald House in Long Beach for the families to be able to stay with their children. Yes, come down. So we will not open it here, although maybe we should and have a sip. The little thing right there? Okay. You know, you're just going to pull it out, and you're going to tear it off, and you're going to put it in a Ziploc bag, and what are you going to do with it? You're going to bring it to Temple, yes, and then I'm going to give it to the Elks. They have so far collected 2.5 tons of those, and they're trying to get to 3 tons. So it's a very easy mitzvah for you to do. Okay, I would suggest those of you that don't like that we all drink the Coke Zero and everything, you can have LaCroix sparkling water and other things and bring those to your rabbi. Aren't you greatly excited to be doing Tikkun Olam, repair of the world? And we're helping parents be with their children at a very, very important time of need. So, anybody else have anything more they want to say? Dan, are you doing your class this month on the last Wednesday? The 28th, there's a lot going on that day. Okay, he's doing his class. Be sure to be mindful because we might throw in a few extra things as they come up here and there. And anything else? Mark, did you have something you wanted to say? An event? Okay. Well, I'm sure that we are going to have to start some aggressive cleaning at the end of September to prepare for High Holy Days. So anyone that would like to help, I'm sure the carpets and the pews and the walls and everything would love to have your tender, loving devotion and care. All right, so that being said, we're going to bless one another with the Birkat Kohanim as we call upon Adonai with devotion and love and surrender. Please rise. Surrender control. Let's all say it again. Surrender control. Okay, so we ask at this time as we all surrender control to the divine and we lift up our hearts and our minds and our souls that Adonai will be with us on our journey, and that we're so grateful. We have gratitude for the times that we were together thousands of years ago and as we have been brought together at this time. So we ask that God be with us as we not only keep Shabbat, but we remember Shabbat and all of our ancestors and the gift that is Torah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yaher Adonai panav alecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Ken Yeh Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat shalom. And do honestly, absolutely check your email because I think Marsha's planning, we talked about a brunch at Tranny's Dockside. And we do try to keep an eye on what the prices are for things. So yes, Adon Olam or Osei Shalom, what? Osei Shalom. Come on up. Osei Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Participated. We have our beautiful Heather, our fabulous, amazing good-looking man of Germany. And our stalwart and fantastic and very good-looking Dan Spector with a deep, resonant voice that gives us that godly feeling. And our magnificent, spiritual, and very sensual Stacy on percussion. So thank you. Thank you to Mark Reichert for trying to fix the air conditioning. Thank you. And to everyone who came and participated in the dinner, please come back. We have cake, and we have fruit, and we have so many exciting things. Thanks to Mark Tannen for the sound, and for Jeremy for helping with the hospitality, and Lori as well. We're so blessed to have you. Everyone to the food. The wine and the juice, yes, bring it forth. Thank you.